What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see back behind me. Cool day out here, but the sun's been keeping me warm until now. This time of day, it's blocked by that big old pine tree back there, so pretty chilly right now, but at least the wind's staying calm, so we should be able to get a few more tests done. And this one right here is something that a lot of people have been asking me about, but until now, I just really didn't have the means to test it. It's going to be a little bit of 357 SIG. So, of course, we got the jelly contraption set up out here with the 2 chronos and a couple blocks of gel. Now, I've done one test so far. It was on some 9mm, so I've got you flipped around. Back here on the back side, I'll leave a link if y'all want to check that out, but plenty of room up here on the front to get this one here done. Of course, as always, I'm sticking with that heavy clothing barrier with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. So we got us a little bit of 357 SIG here to do a test on. Now, if y'all watch my videos, if you saw my last ammo video, I talked about how this came about here. This is actually Nathan from my local shop. This is his G32 and the ammo that he runs. He wanted me to do some testing with. I don't personally have anything chambered in 357 SIG. I've considered picking something up in the past, but at this point, I'm probably not going to. I won't say never, but just my opinion of the future of this cartridge, it just doesn't make real good sense to me. But anyway, we're going to test this one here out, and while I've got his G32, I'm going to do another test with it, so I know people are interested in this. So what we got here, this is an Underwood load. He just gave me the mag full of this stuff, so I don't have the box. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it up, but this is their item number 147, their 129 grain hollow point. This is loaded with the ASP, the Nosler ASP projectile. So a box is saying 1,475 feet per second on this, which would give you 599 as far as the energy if we hit that. As you can see, as always, nice nickel plated case with that Nosler projectile. Now that velocity may be out of like a 4.5-inch barrel. You know, originally, from what little bit of reading I did about this 357 SIG, originally this stuff was formulated or kind of produced to be ran out of a 4-inch barrel, which these are technically 4-inch barrels, but they're semi-auto. This stuff, when it was developed and tested out of a fixed, sure enough, rifled 4 inches of barrel. So we're not quite working with that here, but since we're working with the same on both ends of what we're testing, it should still be a pretty good test. So I figured what I put this up against is some hot 9mm, because everybody's always, you know, wanting to compare 357 SIG and 9mm or 357 SIG and 40s, 357 SIG and just about everything. But you always hear just how much more powerful the 357 SIG is than 9mm, and there's no doubt. You look at the numbers, it absolutely is. So what we're gonna run through here is, you know, I would run my personal rounds, which is basically a 124 plus P plus Underwood, but it's gold dot load. Same velocity though, 1300. This one here, I think this is actually a Nosler projectile in this also, but it's a different type. I think it's maybe their Sportsman projectile. It's a Nosler round, but I don't think it's the ASP. So anyway, 124 grain plus P plus, so same exact weight. Now 124 out of this 357 SIG, it was originally developed for a 125, but I noticed the only 125 Underwood even has anymore is a FMJ. The rest of it's 124 or lighter. But anyway, 124 versus 124, 357 SIG and 9mm plus P plus. And then as far as the tools here, again, we got the G32 Gen 4. It's got the 4-point, I think it's 06, but basically a 4-inch barrel. Now that's counting your chamber. And then for the 19 here, this is a 19 Gen 5, same exact barrel length, 4-inch barrel length on both of these. But that's plenty of rambling on about it. Let me get this stuff set up and let's see what they can do. All right, y'all, let's see how fast this stuff's moving. We're gonna do a 5-round average from each one of them. I'm gonna start with the 9mm first, since it'll be the slower one. Now, I've actually tested this 113 plus P plus 9mm in the past, I think through my MC9, and it was in the 1200, so 1300 on a box. We should be right there at it with this G19. Now, if y'all are new to the channel, like I always mention, this lab radar is gonna give you multiple velocity readings. Your large number is gonna be from your muzzle, and then 5 across the bottom. One is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel's gonna be, and then you've got 10, 15, 25, and 50. Let's see what we get for a 5-round average on these plus P plus 9s. I'll try to kind of make note of the recoil and report on these two to, you know, kind of give you a comparison between the two. Pretty loud, 1292, 1239, 1225, 1211, That's 75 out there, and 1217, so not quite the 1300. I didn't expect to see that. Let's check out what the average is. All right, so our 5-round average on that was 1237 feet per second. We had a high of 1292 and a low of 1211. I don't know which one of those are the most out of line from the rest of them. I didn't pay attention. So that gave us a pretty big extreme spread of 81 with a standard deviation of 32.7. So as far as the one round that's out of line, you know, blame it on whatever you want. The conditions out here, the ammo, the tool, the equipment, whatever you want to blame it on. Only reason I'm saying this because I get people all the time wanting to blame this and that. Even ammo manufacturers, believe it or not, have blamed this and that and everything else under the sun. But anyway, let me get this stuff reset and let's see what the 357 does. All right, let's see how much faster this 357 SIG is. Now, I think I mentioned something about the report on that other one. As far as recoil, it's just nothing really to speak of. And even the report, it wouldn't even have been anything I mentioned. Normally, if it's louder than I expect it to be, I would mention it. And that plus P plus stuff, I personally run that just in a different projectile, and it's very manageable and very decent report on it. So let's see what the difference in this 357 SIG is. Now remember, the box on this is saying 1475. Let's see, I don't expect that, but it should be pretty close. See what the difference feels like even. All right, big difference. That's 1477, so we met the 75. Big difference on recoil and report, I can tell you right now. Big difference. Big difference. 1459, 1439, 1478. And 1467, there is a very big difference in the recoil and report on this. This recoil is, I mean, it's right up there with some 357 that I've ran, no doubt about it, and the report also. Well, let's check the average on this. All right, so our 5-round average that time was 1464 feet per second, a high of 1478 and a low of 1439. So extreme spread was 39 and a standard deviation of 16. So quite a bit of difference from that 9mm. If you remember on the 9mm, it was 1237. So you talking about 227 feet per second faster from that 357 SIG. That's a huge difference. That's almost, I mean, that's almost 20% difference right there. So very big difference, and you could feel the difference. There's no doubt about it. So as far as the SIG, 357 SIG versus 9mm plus P plus, the winner already is 357 SIG, but both of these I think are going to do really nice in the gel. Let's get this stuff set up, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's 9 versus Super 9 jelly time. We'll put one of each into the gel. We'll start with this plus P plus 9 first, just to kind of give us a baseline. Let's see what we get. My guess is, again, I've tested this through the MC9, this 113 here, so I'm gonna say out of this G19, it's gonna get some fragmentation, I expect, and probably we're gonna see 15 inches or so of penetration. The 357 SIG, that thing's probably gonna do 16 to 18 inches would be my guess, but let's see what actually happens here. All right, that should have been a perfect one right there. Let me go see what I got. All right, that 9's looking absolutely perfect down there. Didn't have any doubts that it would. I expect more good stuff out of this 357, so let's see what we get here, y'all. That one knocked my block sideways. I always get those reflections. I hope I didn't come out. Let's go see what we got. All right, let's check this stuff out down here, y'all. You probably noticed I had an error on the chrono here. I pulled it just a little bit left, and I think I got right outside of the beam on that thing is the reason it didn't read. But that's the good thing about the redundancy of the two chronos. I can still roll in y'all a 3-yard average, which is basically right here. So basically what we got down here is fantastic performance from both of these. On the bottom first, that's the 9mm plus P plus. As you can see, comes in here, immediate expansion, cares nothing about that cloth. Nice nice disruption there. A couple little tiny fragments I can see, a little bit of fragmentation there. Carries on through here. Looks like it stops a little bit shy of 15 inches. I figured about 15. I think it may be a little bit short. It might be 15, but some really nice expansion on that, and again, a little bit of fragmentation right here also. And then on the top, there's that 357 SIG. Really nice performance from this one. The biggest difference between these two is you got more of everything. Obviously, more energy right here, more disruption. I can plainly see here in person. More fragmentation because of that extra speed. You got quite a bit of fragmentation going on with this one. Carries on through here, and that one might be a quarter of an inch further than that 9mm, but it's definitely no more than a quarter of an inch further. And again, some nice expansion and some fragmentation from that projectile. All right, let's see what we got here on the penetration. So the 9mm is at exactly 14.5 inches, and then your 357 SIG is again exactly 14 3/4, so a quarter of an inch further on that 357 SIG, but very, very nice penetration from both of these. And then here's your close-up again on the top 357 SIG, bottom 9mm. You can plainly see the difference in the disruption there, just more energy from that 357, a lot more fragmentation though. You can see all that fragmentation, whereas the 9, I don't know how well you can see, you got a couple little wispy pieces there. That 357 dumped quite a bit, but you can see them there. Both of them ended up nearly identical, within a quarter of an inch of each other, and really, really nice expansion from both. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. This one right here, the 9mm, this one here, the 357 SIG. Definitely a difference here. You can see the 9mm is bigger. That's because that 357 SIG lost quite a bit of material. It lost a bunch of the jacket, quite a bit of the lead, way more expansion from the 357 SIG. You can look at them kind of from this angle. You can still see a little bit of the crater there on the 9. You can't see anything but a big smooth mushroom on this 357. Now, that being said, you know, I would assume that this projectile right here is the same one that the 9's loaded with, so it's probably made and formulated for 9 type speeds. To me, I don't care for fragmentation. Y'all know how I am about that, but you are still at least left with quite a decent chunk of lead on this. But let's get some weights on them and see what we're left with. Both of them 124. This 9mm here is 123.8, so stands to reason, just a tiny little bit of fragmentation from that one. And then this 357 SIG here, this one's all the way down to 109.8, so quite a bit lost from that one. And then let's see what kind of sizes we got. We'll start with the 9. You got 5.66, 5.71, and 5.59. So really nice expansion from the 9mm. And then on the 357 SIG here, you got 5.09, 5.34, and 5.18. So again, you actually got more expansion on this, but because of the loss on the material, it's ended up a smaller final size as far as the biggest piece. And there you have it, y'all. The 357 SIG and 9mm plus P+. Both of them loads from Underwood, both of them moving along pretty nicely, both of them fantastic performance in the gel here. If there was a winner to be picked, I think clearly, again, y'all know how I am, math and numbers don't lie, this 357 SIG easily takes the win from this 9mm. I will have to admit, I didn't expect this much difference between these two rounds, and this is one of the more powerful 9mm rounds you can get. So as far as 9mm versus 357 SIG performance, 357 SIG gets it all day long. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for this first test of 357 SIG on the channel. Again, if you're calling a winner out here based purely on performance, 357 SIG easily takes that. I never had any doubt about that. That's not the reason that I don't have one and haven't tested it. I had no doubt about the performance of it, and easily it took the performance win here. Now, that being said, it's kind of one of those deals like the 9 versus 40 Smith & Wesson. 40 Smith & Wesson, all things being equal, is gonna take the win easily in just pure performance. But you know, you got the other considerations like the size of the tools, ammo availability, tool availability, ammo pricing. You know, if you're sensitive to recoil, you got way more recoil with this, so a lot of other considerations to think about. But again, pure performance, 357 SIG easily takes it. The main reason I personally would not consider 357 SIG as like a EDC or a main type of thing is just because of the way I feel about the future of this cartridge. I have it on pretty good authority. The Glock themselves are incentivizing law enforcement offices to switch this stuff in and move over to the 9mm. Once that happens, you get more and more Leos trading this in and going with 9 or something like that. It's just going to make it worse and worse and worse as far as ammo availability. You're not going to see any new tools come out for this stuff. So that right there is my main reason for not really caring much about 357 SIG. But let me know what y'all think about the performance you saw out here from both of these rounds today. Do any of y'all out there carry 357 SIG? If you do, what do you carry in? This compact, the full size, a subcompact? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed the video, as always, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you got your notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Again, like I always remind y'all, check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy from going through those links down there, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Once again, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members. Thanks to Nathan for letting me borrow the Glock 357 SIG out here to do some testing with, and thanks to all of y'all for supporting the channel like y'all do. I've got a couple more good tests planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for those. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.